If somebody comes to you and they've got, some form of anxiety,
Yeah.
what does the process look like when you're working with them?
Yeah. So first of all, I have to see what is coming from, right? Like if it's a phobia, if it's what we were saying, just a panic attack, something that is all of a sudden they're in the street, they're walking and they start to feel, that they're all over the place. And as I said, with the heartbeat, the sweating, they cannot breathe. So one of the things that I do is teaching them what is really going on in their body. There's something that is called, I'm not sure if you heard about it, but it's called fight, flight, freeze reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard about that?
Yeah.
Kind of thing?
Fight, flight, freeze.
Yeah. So I don't know if you want me to go on that or just briefly, maybe.
Sure.
for audience.
Yeah.
So basically what it is like your body's getting ready or to fight or to run away or freeze. So if you're fighting or you need to run away, then you need your heart pumping very fast. Then you need to be sweating to keep you cool. If you need to freeze because, I don't know, in old days you have a lion in front of you about to eat you, you rather freeze. Because if you run away or you fight, you're going to lose for sure, right? So you rather freeze. So when you're freezing, you're very tense. It seems like you're not even breathing, right? Like you're hard like a stone, right? So those reactions are okay at the time with that kind of situation, but they are not okay when you are, I don't know, meeting a girlfriend the first time,
Right.
right?
Because we don't see
Regular.
lions. We don't encounter lions that
Exactly.
often.
No,
Unless
but
it's
but your
Ezekiel
body
Roy.
is ready for that too, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Especially in the old days, not now. But.
Well, the elevator here would be a good test for people. But I would just want to ask, you said 18%, which I thought was really low when you said it, and you thought that was high. And to me, it seems like we live in a society with a lot of what is called depression. I don't like the word depression. I think it's too easy to call people depressed.
Yeah.
But it seems like there's a lot of anxiety, and you see it, and you feel it. So,
Talking about disorders, okay? When
Okay.
we get to the point of a disorder.
I mean, it's a fine
Anxiety.
line, though. I mean, really, it's really hard to say, okay, this person is just anxious. This person has an illness called an anxiety
especially
disorder.
when people don't even know it themselves.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And that's why it's important to talk about it.
Often. Right.
Because when you talk about, like, one of the things that are happening is that sometimes, for instance, when they feel that they cannot breathe, people still feel like this tension here on the chest, and all of a sudden they feel that they can't breathe. And they may think that they have asthma.
Right.
Or some people, they start to think that they're having a heart attack, or they're just plain going crazy because they get they start to feel so confused. They cannot, think right, and they're dizzy, and, they have this pain and all that, and they say, okay, I'm going to die, or I'm going crazy. So it's important to, put things on the table and say, okay, these are symptoms of depression. Sorry, anxiety, not depression.
Yeah.
So, okay, we don't have a lot of time left. We've got about 5 minutes, but
Okay.
let's talk about how to deal with this. Like, when somebody comes with you and they've got a problem, how do you work with them to resolve it or to improve things?
Well, as I said, I think it's really depending on the person, the personality, their needs. Cognitive behavioral therapy seems to be one of the things that are helping a lot, because you learn to basically challenge the fear, right? So one of the things that we do is called something that is called thought record. So what you do is you look at the fear, you look at at the thought itself. Okay, say the elevator. If I go in the elevator, I'm gonna die, right? That's your
Right.
thought. Then you start. Okay, you say, okay, what is the emotion attached to this, for instance, right? And say, okay, I feel fear, and from 0 to 10, 10, right? So they go, okay. What is the evidence that supports that fear?
Right.
I say, okay, last time I went to elevator, like my heart was really going fast, I was dizzy, I felt I was going crazy, I think I'm gonna die, like da da da. Okay, so those are evidences. Okay, let's start to think about things that are not evidences, that are things are contradicting you, right? So you start to say, okay, well, I did feel all that, but I didn't die.
Right.
And there's a lot of people out there with anxiety problems and had this issue, and nobody died. And they did get over it. So after you, this is, I'm making it very fast and simple, right? But this is a little more complicated than just that. But basically what you want to do is create a balanced thought that says, okay, even though I've been feeling this way and I have all these problems, I have all this evidence that says it's not going to happen like that. Absolutely. And then you can start to, like, you get more balance, so you can think, you start to feel differently about it, right?
You're reprogramming.
You're kind of bringing logic to it. You're showing how illogical the thought about it is.
Exactly.
Now, wouldn't it be easier just to hypnoptize somebody
Totally.
and make them, forget that?
No.
I'm just asking because I know you do hypnotherapy
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. I when you work through with hypnotherapy that goes straight to the unconscious, right? Not everybody is likes it. Not everybody is open to it.
You mean some people, you can't hypnotize?
No, it's not about no. You can't. It's like they are not willing.
Yeah.
They are afraid, or they don't think it works.
Yeah.
Like there are a lot of people out there with different, perspectives, and that's why I work holistic in a holistic way. I rather choose what works for the person, not for me.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, what about going to the root, though, just before we end it? Because you mentioned, looking at the fear and working through that, but do you go back to find out what the root of that fear is? Why is it that you're afraid of the elevator to begin with?
Yeah. Well, in many cases, there's a trauma behind, and something happened. So in that case, it's quite clear what is the root. Sometimes it's not that easy, and then you may want to get into that. But to get into that, like, it depends on how long the treatment is going to be, because some people want to fix problems very quickly, and sometimes looking at the root of the problem can be a little more extended. So it also depends on how long the treatment is going to be.
But you're confident that you can actually fix the problem without having to go into the root of it. They can still kind of deal with the fear aspect.
Exactly.
Okay, that's
Exactly.
interesting. That's great.
Well, listen, if somebody is, I don't know if we've been able to, I know we've only really scratched the surface of
I
this.
know.
But
Right.
if
It's
people
okay.
they want to follow up, do you have a website or something
Yep.
where they can get in touch with you and,
Sure. So it's www at holistic counseling.
That's with an
Holistic.
H.
Yeah.
Holistic Counseling.
Counseling with double L, the Canadian way.
Wait, so I have trouble with that word.
Yeah.
Because there's different councils.
Yeah.
So
Counseling is double L in Canada.
is it with an S, though? C-O...
Counsel.
Ling.
Yeah.
So holistic counseling in
That's-
Canada, is that what you said?
No. I'm
Holistic-
just saying it's holisticcounseling.ca.
.ca.
Yeah, but I was
Okay.
explaining him that it's double
All right.
L because you can put counseling with one L.
Right.
Right.
Okay, perfect.
Great.
Okay.
All right, Gabriela, thanks for coming in.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Holisticcounseling.ca. And
right.
so people, when they see this on the web, if they resonate with you, they think, yeah,
Exactly.
that's a person I'd like to work with.
Perfect.
Now they know how they can do that.
Great. Thank you
Take
so
care.
much.
Have a good
Thanks a lot.
weekend.
You too. Bye-bye.
Okay, we're going to hear another track from